Yeah, I get it. That's cool. Hello, my wonderful friends, and welcome to another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. This week we have kind of a normal amount of news. I feel like I haven't said that in a long time. Usually there's like 1,000 million stories. This is kind of like a normal, like what I would normally expect. So that's a nice change of pace. So let's get started. The Pokemon Company has shared some nice little tidbits for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and also Legends Arceus. I want to say Arceus, but I hear Arceus. Whatever, I'll say Arceus. It's funny because I really do expect some sort of Pokemon presentation in June. You'd think they would save this for then, but I don't know. Maybe they just thought they'd give us a little bit now, and it's fun. Gets us talking about it, doesn't it? They give us release dates for both. Diamond and Pearl will be coming November 19th, which is a pretty normal slot for a holiday title, but at the same time, Zelda usually takes November, doesn't it? Classically, the holiday Zelda title, that's a November thing. I don't know if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming. Could it be October? Could it be December? Could it not be 2021? Does this mean something? Who knows? And then, kind of surprisingly, Legends Arceus is coming very shortly after, January 28th, 2022. Part of me is, like, surprised that they would release, two of these games so close together, just a few months apart, and then just like January is a weird time for Pokemon release. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Usually they put out one, major product per year, whether it's a game or set of games, or now, DLC or whatever. If they want to break that pattern, they're going to want to put one as early in the year as possible to allow as much time as possible to pass before the next product, whatever that may be, whether it's some more Let's Go games, or, the next generation of Pokemon. That could be 2022, who knows? And then it's weird that they're so close together, but then it's a little less weird when you consider Diamond and Pearl. They're remakes, so they're less big, they're less impactful. They'll still sell really well, but it's not like a big, huge, massive event where they're gonna want to space everything after it, so this was actually a perfect time for them to kind of stick them together, and, Arceus is a brand new kind of direction for the series, so they want to, give it some room after that to breathe. I don't know, I'm just saying, I think it kind of makes sense. They revealed that Diamond and Pearl will be getting a double pack. No surprises, no surprises there. They love their double packs. I don't understand them. I really don't. I don't understand the idea of buying both, especially now that they're $60, but I won't get on your case. If that's something you like to do, that's fine. Would be nice if there was literally any savings whatsoever buying the 2-pack, but there's really not, is there? Pokemon also revealed the box arts for all of these games, and I'm gonna get a lot of flack in both cases, for different reasons. Legends Arceus, it's nice, and most people seem to really enjoy it. I just think it's a little too basic for, like, what they're going for. Like, it just seems like the scope of the game is gonna be pretty good. It's just some very, very normal, basic art. I feel like this could be Legends Piplup, and it would be, it's just kind of, it's nice, they're looking off of the mountain and everything, but I don't know, it's just, it could be so much more. It could be kind of exciting. And then people will be mad at me for a different reason with the Diamond and Pearl, because most people don't like it because they like the 2D art, and they don't like that it's the 3D art. I actually think that's an improvement. I still am not a big fan of this art, but I think it's an improvement that it's 3D art, but it's still just a little cheap. It's just kind of like them, and they're there, and they put a little swing, and that's it. I don't think any Pokemon box art is ever good, apparently, when it's just like, the Pokemon, it's there, the end. You want some original art, like the Arceus thing. It's on the right track, it's an original piece of art, I like that. Just want a little something more to sink my teeth into, but oh well. In other Pokemon-related news, they have released a new patch for new Pokemon Snap, and this fixes a bug where one of the requests does not trigger even when you meet the requirements, and this is less important news because of the fact that they fixed a bug, and more important because it's confirmation that some of these requests are bugged. We've been like, some of these just, they don't work, and we're like, are we missing something? What is wrong here? Apparently, no, we're not missing something. There is a bug, so hopefully, I feel like there are still a few more after this. Hopefully they can clean the whole thing up and make some of these a little easier to trigger. Driving home the wisdom of Target's decision to stop selling Pokemon cards physically in their stores, we have some disturbing footage here of a bunch of guys busting into a Target and acting like crazed monkeys going after a pile of cheese. I don't know why I said cheese. Monkeys like cheese. They probably would go nuts for cheese. They're on those cards like Arlo's at a lunch hour at a Chinese buffet. Anyway, so that's disturbing. but interesting. Now we know, like, oh yeah, it was a good idea. Maybe no one should sell Pokemon cards ever again. Maybe they should just cancel Pokemon cards at this point. Yeesh. Switch Pro rumors abound. This time, Bloomberg has posted another article and multiple other sources have corroborated. They are further backing up the idea that the Switch Pro will replace the current model of Switch. However, they're saying it will come in at a higher price, so that's going to be a little bit awkward. I think the new 3DS probably did that as well, but it is a little weird that, hey, the Switch, it's better now, but it's only more expensive. You can, like, it's just, instead of it going down over the generation, it's gone up. So, I don't really know. The main takeaway from the rumor circulating right now is that Nintendo will probably reveal it before E3, and I'm actually mad that this is going around because I've been meaning to tweet about it. I do have evidence though. I did a Arlocast for a Patreon, like Patreon exclusive one. I did say it there, so if it ends up being true, I can clip it out. Basically, I predicted that they would reveal it before E3, just because usually, at least recently, whenever they do anything that's not just a game, you know, whenever it's like hardware or even like their Blue Ocean stuff or whatever, they reveal that separately. They don't put that in direct. So I've been expecting just like its own dedicated reveal for the Switch Pro, so that at E3 they can, you know, all of the third parties and all Nintendo's projects, they can all say, hey, look, this is how it's going to be on Switch Pro and all that stuff. And I want to be right. I want everyone to know how right I am. So anyway, traditionally Nintendo tends to announce things like Tuesday or Wednesday. So next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, and I believe these separate things are usually 3 p.m. Pacific is what I have been observing. Not been keeping really close paying attention, but Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd say Tuesday. Watch out, 3 p.m. Pacific. We might get a nice little surprise. And if we do, just remember Arlo was right. Arlo predicted it. He didn't predict it in time, and now maybe he's lying, but he's not lying, I swear. Anyway. In Q1 of this year, it seems that the Switch has beaten PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S/X. It has sold more than both of them combined. Not super duper surprising because yada yada yada, you can't even buy those systems. It's almost impossible. And, you know, the Switch has had a fair amount on shelves. You know, they've been putting them out pretty well. But it's still pretty cool. It's still selling really well. Oh gosh, and I can only hope if there is a Switch Pro, if it's not as hard to find as the PS5 and the Xbox. Oh, that'd be terrible. If I just couldn't get one for 6 months, oh, that'd be awful. I don't want to think about it. Nintendo has filed a patent basically for kind of an eShop, like recommendation system. It's just like a system of getting data from a user, assigning values to different things in order to, you know, create a detailed rating or recommendation for that person. I'm actually just like reading through it, I'm really surprised that's a thing you can patent. It just seems like a standard recommendation system to me, but maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit different, and you know, they might not do anything with this patent, but I would really love to see some sort of recommendation system on the eShop. That is specifically one of the things it could really use. Giles Goddard is a renowned game developer who used to work closely with Nintendo, and in an interview with the YouTube channel MinMax, he reveals that when he was working on the Ocarina of Time prototype, he kind of came up with his own version of Portal, like, you know, the Portal, the games where you have portals and you look through the portals and leads to a different place. He says that he was working on Ocarina of Time and had kind of a similar thing, and it just didn't really pan out or turn into anything. I would love to see how that worked in an actual, like, Zelda kind of prototype. It's a pretty interesting little thing. We frequently get rumors about various companies doing basically their own versions of the Switch, you know, little portable machines that can dock to the TV or whatever. Most of them have not really panned out. However, there's a pretty heavy rumor going around that Valve is making one. It is codenamed the SteamPal, allegedly. People involved in this rumor seem to believe it is pretty much definitely happening, especially based on some things that Gabe Newell has been talking about. Just kind of like it's like a not very well-kept secret, basically. And, you know, it would be a little portable device, just basically like a Switch, and hook it to your TV, but it, you know, runs Steam and has all your Steam library and stuff, and that would actually... that'd be really cool, I gotta say. And, like, if anyone can make a piece of hardware or something that you can at least kind of trust to be fairly good quality. I imagine it would probably be them. However, I'm not really getting my hopes up because like the last time they were talking about wanting to make a console and like my understanding was like, oh, hey, like PC gaming is really expensive. So let's mass produce a PC so that we can drive down the price and actually compete with consoles, but it's the power of a PC. And then they just kind of didn't, and they just kind of still spread themselves out across a bunch of models and other companies and hardware and stuff. So I don't really know. I don't really know what their thing is. I don't know how fully they're going to dive into this or if they're going to make it work, but we'll just have to wait and see. If you don't know, there are a number of chests in Breath of the Wild that are impossible to reach. Just for whatever reason, they just got buried in the landscape and people just can't reach them. So it's been kind of a challenge to like see if you can find a way to glitch through the world and find them. And apparently recently, people have found a way to reach one of them. Congratulations, there's nothing interesting inside at all, but you know, it's fun. For the first time in over 2 years, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has received an update. Now, this update doesn't really do much. It's some minor little bug fix or, I don't know, just some nothing. But I will say it is weird that it's getting one this late. And especially, and here's the thing, like, I have not seen a lot of people talk about this. It hasn't even come up here. But there have been Mario Kart 9 rumors floating around. I'm starting to believe that Mario Kart 9 is going to happen. I actually kind of expect a reveal at E3. Although it is at least possible that instead of 9, it will be some sort of add-on or DLC or whatever for 8. If they're updating this, what if this is kind of giving it a little, you know, opening up a little door in the software to receive a big giant update or something, maybe? And then it could be nonsense, I could be totally wrong, but because this is my show, I'm gonna tie that into this next story. Apparently Nintendo has partnered with Play Versus to make Smash Ultimate and Splatoon 2 official high school varsity games playable. I don't actually know how this works. What's even a varsity? I didn't play sports in school. Do I look like I played sports in school? No, basically, high schools can, in some official capacity, have like Smash and Splatoon tournaments and stuff, so that's rad. That's just a cool thing, obviously. Oh, but then the tie-in. Next year, they will also be adding Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to the list of games. If they were going to come out with a Mario Kart 9, why would they be planning ahead to include Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Why would they not, you know what I'm saying? Why would they not wait to announce that? Maybe, does that mean that there is possibly going to be an update or something for 8 Deluxe instead of a 9? And so they're just kind of like preparing because 8 Deluxe is going to be a thing again? Maybe, I don't know. Probably not. Probably not, but hey, it's fun to try to draw these little lines between stories when you can. Miitopia has been updated. It now is compatible with the power-up band, the little wrist thing, specifically that you get at Super Nintendo World, that place that's only in Japan. So if you happen to go to Japan somehow and go to Super Nintendo World, which you can't because it's not open, you can now use the little band as an amiibo in Miitopia. So there you go. If you recall, some weeks back, some folks were looking to make an unofficial amiibo handbook. They hit a little bit of a snag when Nintendo didn't really like that they were using the logo and the font on the cover of their book. It seems that they have skirted around any legal issues by changing the font and changing the name of the book from the unofficial amiibo handbook to unofficial amiibook, which is cute. Anyway, I think that's just a fine name by itself. And I'm very glad to see that Nintendo didn't bring down the hammer and smash the whole project. No, they just didn't like that they were... I get it, that's cool. So there's a story that's been going around that Sakurai might want to retire soon. Might want to retire early. And Nintendo Life provides it's kind of a story that we want to know exactly what he says, so different people, different sources have translated his words in kind of different ways. And so just go to the Nintendo Life article. All the sources for this episode are down in the description. And I'm not going to read all of it just because there's a lot there, a lot of different versions and a lot that you could take from it. But it is interesting to see, like, sometimes it kind of seems like he's saying, yeah, maybe I'm going to want to retire early. But then in other ways, it almost sounds like he's saying, oh, well, I mean, I'm like considering the idea of someday. He says, you know, everything must come to an end eventually, but as long as I can still work, I probably will. But then he kind of throws in there, he might stop doing his regular feature in Famitsu, or he might want to take a break after all the DLC fighters are out for Smash or something. I don't know, read the whole thing, kind of get from it what you will, but I think he deserves to retire early. Absolutely. He's nearly worked himself to death. If anyone deserves to retire and just be done forever, it's him. However, two things. One, I would be disappointed if he didn't just slow down. You know what I mean? Like, he has done so much for Nintendo. I feel like he has earned the status of just like legendary game guy, where it's like, okay, you don't have to work on Smash anymore, but here's a team. Do whatever you want. We will give you any resources you want to create whatever project you want with any timeline you want. Take as long as you want. Like, that's what I would do if I were Nintendo. Take it easy. Make it nice and easy and relaxing, you know? Too brilliant a mind to retire. And then two, I just don't think he will. He's such a hard worker. How do you just turn that off? He's not going to be able to just shut that off and stop working forever. I'm sure even if he does retire from Smash, probably do something like what I said, start working on other side projects or whatever. And honestly, I'd love that. I want to see what else he's capable of. He's an amazing developer. Moving on, Capcom gave us another little Monster Hunter presentation. Lots of new info about stories too. And then we just received another major update for Monster Hunter Rise. This one gives us a few new monsters and stuff, but most importantly, finishes the story. The main game kind of ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. This finishes the story. I have not been able to play it yet, but I hope that I can soon because I want to see what happens. Some art that is allegedly concept art for a DK attraction or place at Super Nintendo World has surfaced. I'm not able to find any real sources here. I don't necessarily know where this came from or if it's legit, but it seems that, yeah, concept art for, you know, DK land, DK country, or whatever they're going to call it. I have no real reason to believe it's not real just because it's basically guaranteed at this point because of all of the things. It's another very poorly kept secret that, yeah, they're gonna get a Donkey Kong place at Super Nintendo World. And finally, someone drew the villains from Resident Evil 8 as gym leaders, as like the Elite Four in Pokemon. And they even gave them Pokemon and they drew them and everything. And I love it. The end. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. You have a wonderful day. We're getting close to E3. Next episode, I might be talking about a real Switch Pro, which is definitely going to just be called the Switch Pro because no one thinks it's gonna, so now it's gonna. Maybe it will be Super Switch. I really could see Super Switch. Please don't be New Switch. Don't call it New Switch. Please, please, please don't call it New Switch. Please.